Hello, my name is James and welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is a trailer reaction for The Rise of Skywalker. It's a trailer reaction and breakdown for Rise of Skywalker. Yes, now yesterday I did do a trailer reaction in live time. I gave it to you guys straight up. It was at night and during the football game, and if you are curious about that, I'll leave a link to that up in the cards above, just so you can take a look at it. And I said at the end of that I was going to, do a more in-depth reaction. I'm going to take a look at it now with it in a slower speed, 2.25 speed, like it was at 1/4 speed. And we're going to talk about some speculation, and I'm going to give you my thoughts as to what's going on. So with that in mind, let's just pull up the video and get started, because it's going to be a little bit slow, so we'll pause it when I need to, and we'll go from there. So Star Wars The Last Jedi, I think for the most part it's being well received, the trailer. It's number one trending today. Obviously it has to be, right? I took some notes here too, so we're gonna get into some depth here. So far I think it's been fairly well received. Okay, yeah, here we go. So there's going to be no sound, because you don't want to hear sound played back at this speed. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We're going to talk mostly about the visuals. And we open up here on a jungle planet. And from what I'm being told is we're going to see two jungle planets. This planet that she's training on, and that's a good thing. That's something that I think a lot of people really wanted to see in episode 8, but we really didn't get to see this kind of stuff. So this stuff is just going to be kind of crammed in at the beginning. This is obviously the beginning of the movie, and which is good. I like to see that she's training, but did it look like she had a gun on her hot thigh there? And there she doesn't have a gun. We see the lightsaber, so I'm curious to know where she gets the lightsaber back from, because it was cut in half during TLJ. And here, yeah, she's in some kind of wreckage again. I don't know if this is just a vision part, or it's kind of curious. Finn looking through some glasses on the desert planet. Now this desert planet, we saw in the original teaser where she's running and the TIE fighter is coming up behind her and she jumps. The desert planet is called Pisana. And here we are back on the forest planet, the jungle planet, running with the lightsaber, training again. And now this is a curious shot. We see the rebels here. I'm guessing these are the rebels that answered the call, because we see Calrissian there. We see Poe. I think that might be Rose there. Okay, so here's a shot with Rose, and I'm going to pause it there. This is Dominic Monaghan right here. We see his character for the first time. A lot of people probably missed that one. I haven't seen anybody else talk about it, but yeah, he's just a normal soldier. He's not a Knights of Ren character, which is something that I think a lot of people wanted to see, but we're not going to see it. We can just see Rose. They're fighting here. They're fleeing from something. There's the trio there on the forest planet. And as I said, there's going to be two. I think we get to see Endor again at some point. I think we do. And they're taking off, because there's probably a threat on the way. Probably Kylo Ren has tracked them down to this planet where the wreckage is of the Death Star, which is probably the Endor, right? It's got to be. And this is very, kind of rhyming with episode 3 of the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. Very similar, but instead of fire, we got water. So they're playing with the elements. I get the imagery. She looks good for the most part. I like the way she always looks, like this intense look she has. And this shot here is fantastic. It's probably one of my favorites of the trailer, of him walking through the water. And from what I'm being told is that they used really cold water for this scene. So, it just helped them get in character. And yeah, that fight scene is going to be great. Now this we're going to pause. Okay, this we have to pause, because when I first saw this shot, I felt like this was a cave. I thought there was a cave, and that was kind of like a glacier in the background, and there was water underneath. I thought that's what it was, because it's so quick here. We don't get to really analyze it, but it's a floating kind of asteroid icy asteroid. And apparently it's the New Order's base. And of course it is, because there are TIE fighters there, and that's New Order, or New, whatever they're called. The bad guys, with Hux. And apparently, yeah, that's just floating out in space, and that's where Hux is in, New Order. That's hilarious, James. But, knowing now that your brain is telling you that that's floating out in space and not in a cave, it does change the way you are thinking about it, and it's kind of like, cool, well, wow, that's fascinating. And the imagery looks great. Obviously, it's going to be shot fairly well. The the bad guys just have nice bases, I guess. Yeah, and we'll see that later on when the Empire comes back with Palpatine. And apparently this throne, was actually supposed to be the actual throne in Episode 6 that was designed, but they never used it. This was back when it was supposed to be like in that cave on Mustafar. That's what Palpatine was supposed to be in. Okay, so they're rising up here. The Star Destroyers are coming up out of the planet that they're on. And now this planet is supposed to be called Exegol, where the Emperor is. And I'm guessing this is where the final scenes take place, the final big space battle that we see here. And we're going to pause it here just for a quick second. I'm not going to go too much into this. Apparently there's a lot of ships here that are, tips and nods to stuff we've seen in canon before. This is apparently a ship from Rebels. We see that old scouting, that ship that Han had where they got the Falcon back, that big warehousing thing that Chewie had. This shot is nice. I like this shot. The four of them coming in. And that's 3PO behind. So there's a thing on the dash there that we saw that I'm guessing is the thing that helps them track where the Emperor is. And that fight scene looks great. Something's exploding there. Now, this is an interesting shot. And it's just them on some kind of a water vessel that skips along the waves to get to the wreckage. And that's whimsy. That's the whimsy of Star Wars. That talks Star Wars. This does... I don't know what to think about this. This is where 3PO's like, I feel like this is the last time I'm going to talk to my friends. And people are saying that his brain is being downloaded into the Falcon, but no, from what I'm being told, he's given a chip of what that blue thing was where he's getting like Sith holocron knowledge or something to find Palpatine, and then his eyes will turn red. So he's kind of like relinquishing command of his body over to this evil programming, and his war mode or whatever. And people have issue here with him calling them friends, because 3PO really hasn't had much interaction with Rey, right? Or even for the most part Finn. And why he's calling them friends, I don't know. If it was Lando, Leia, and R2, then I can understand. And we get to see R2 there, but I'm thinking that that's a different shot. It's not in the same scene. We see Chewie there. Yeah, Chewie's good. Obviously he's good. This Christmas, Montreal Base was the ice base. Yeah, Montreal Base is what's being talked about. Some action shots. Obviously and there's a scene here that I think was reused footage from Episode 7. They said they were going to try to reuse some of the footage. And this is on the forest planet where she's training. I think Leia's helping to give her some training, or at least some tips that she's learned from Luke. And we might see Luke here in ghost form. We may or may not. So I'm figuring that that's how that ties in. But just quickly going back to that ice base thing. That ice base thing, this is Montreal Base. Montreal Base. As of right now, that's what it's being called. So, yeah, I missed that. Sorry about that, guys. I should be looking more at my notes more. And somewhere along the lines, there's a planet here called Kijimi, where Zori Bliss comes from, that new bounty hunter that's played by Carrie Russell. that we did see in that shot where she says, where 3PO saying, I feel like I'm saying goodbye to my friends. Whew, who knows? And yeah, some more action. Action. Is a new order. She's crying because I guess she knows that she's going to turn into the Force, or she may die going on this mission. Ooh, and look, it's BB-8. I like that skiff scene though. That's going to be cool, and that's the same planet that Rey is on when she's jumping over the plane. The thing it's called. This is on Pasana. Lando, obviously great. Very small. Now, this apparently is Zori Bliss's ship. She's fighting these new Star Destroyers with the cannons. Remember that shot in the teaser? We saw with some big gun shooting the planet. I'm guessing that's from the Star Destroyers. And as these Star Destroyers lift off, the Rebel forces are on these horse-type things. That's why it does look like they're on a Star Destroyer. They're not in space yet. They're just lifting off. And that's why it kind of looks weird. There they are in the throne room. This apparently was supposed to be underwater originally, but it's kind of cool to see it again. And apparently that's the real prop throne that they used from Episode 6. That's the real prop throne, but whatever. Now, I'm guessing here, this is once again on the water planet with the wreckage, and Finn is running towards Rey and Kylo fighting, and Rey eventually somehow ends up going with Kylo. I'm not sure if it's going to be forcefully or just on her, she wants to go with him because she knows she has to complete this mission. But, okay, so this is on Kylo's ship, and in the background here is his meditation chamber, and this is like the statue where Vader's helmet is, and it looks like they were ready to fight, and Rey has smashed his tribute to his father there. You thought they were doing it together, but they're not. And what else is curious is that she's holding a dagger of some kind. She's holding, I'm guessing, is a Sith artifact right here that Kylo has gotten. That gives, a little bit more information as to where to find the Emperor. That's from what I'm being told. But yeah, this is Kylo's ship. And this is the little platform that had Vader's helmet on. She's probably saying something like, destroy the past, kill it, because he's holding on to it. And it's kind of weird that this whole storyline with Vader was ignored for TLJ, The Last Jedi, and is now being brought back to The Rise of Skywalker. It just makes you really wish that Abrams had just stayed on to do it all, because it was cool that they were going to do all different directors, but they didn't have the entire story planned out. And now this is the price that we're paying, and hopefully this one is going to be good. So far, I do like what I'm seeing, though. And, okay, what else have we got? And there they are on the Star Destroyer lifting up. Obviously, it can't be in space, otherwise they would be sucked off, blown off into space. It's a big space battle. It's going to be interesting. Okay, now this is an interesting shot. Okay, so Kylo here is on the same planet with Rey there, with the Emperor, and apparently this apparatus in the background is the apparatus that's helping to keep the Emperor alive. And I don't know if he's going to be partly robotic or what, but apparently he's got to have all these systems, helping to keep him alive, and that's what we're seeing there in the background. And of course, we get to see him on a chair of some kind right here. Kind of makes me scared, though. Kind of makes me worried that we're not going to actually see him in the flesh. It might be just like one of those panels like in the cartoons where he's just got the panel and it's like just an image of his face. That kind of worries me. And then we just get to hear this final shot of Luke and Leia saying that the Force will be with you always, and it's just Rey standing there. And that got a lot of people having the feels. It makes you kind of think that, yeah, Leia's going to turn into the Force at the end. And that's it. Star Wars. What did you think about this breakdown? Did I miss anything? I'm not going to go too much into a lot of the spoiler speculation, just from what I got from the planets. Pisana, Kijimi, Montreal Base is the ice one, as I said, and Exegol is supposed to be the last planet where the Emperor is, where the final battle takes place. And I think after watching it multiple times, I'm thinking that I'm like a lot of you. I watched the trailer for myself, and then I wanted to go out and hear what other people were saying. I watched their trailer reactions, and I think that just helped me get immersed with what I was seeing and what I was going to be able to talk about today and what was relevant. What did you guys think about this trailer? Let me know in the comments below. Did you think anything different about these special scenes? Have you tried to go out and buy tickets yet? That's something. Right there, they're saying that tickets are now available, and apparently they're being sold out in mass numbers, and they're breaking records. It's breaking even Endgame's records. So we'll have to see. That's it. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my latest one just right up here. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.